not watching, you're tuning in and watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. We come to you every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Uh, have a special guest. He won't be no special guest after tonight. He'll be a part of the show on Tuesday night. That's Mr. Steve Woodland out of Maryland. And we want to welcome him to the broadcast. And a good way welcome him to the broadcast. If you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. We appreciate it if you do. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, and B Watts, I can tell you, you're looking sharp, young fella. You're looking
Man, you
sharp.
looking mighty spiffy yourself. I'm telling you, man. Stephen A. and Shannon Shaw, boy, they gonna have to get back out there after the night, boy. They got to tighten up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, tonight broadcast. Hey, we're gonna talk about Coach Prime, American national treasure. And the reason why we come up with this topic is because Coach Prime is an icon and he's got a birthday coming up on August the 9th. And we want to start right now by celebrating him while he's still living and while he is a icon to I mean, man, he don't change the world of sports right now. If you ask me, he don't change the internet, he don't change college football the way it's being played. Coach Prime is a legend, and we're gonna give him his flowers tonight and next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be part two. So we finna get into the show. We're gonna celebrate his journey. Deion Sanders, right here on Sports Talk with B. Watts Entertainment. Check this out. When you hear those words, American national treasure, what does that mean to you?
Well, when what it means to me is this one here. It means that we have a person of esteem, or that's of esteem. They're rare. They're precious. Someone that is someone that the country is proud of. It also means to me this here. It means to me that this person is of great value. This person sets the culture. This person is a leader amongst people. This individual serves people. This person is a trendsetter. This person provides a message that uplifts and motivates. This person here changes lives. This person here provides hope and answers, and this person is selfless. When I'm describing all of that, I'm describing Coach Prime.
Wow, what a description, man. I'm sure if he see this, I want to make sure I send it to him just in case he's not watching that we salute him tonight. But check this out. Got a couple things I want to read off to you about the history of Deion Sanders. Let me go to my laptop. Just bear with me for a few minutes. If you got about 2 minutes, then I'll turn over back to you. All right, check this out. Deion Lewin Sanders Sr. was born August the 9th, 1967. His parents was named, let me look at my notes, Connie Sanders and Miriam Sanders.
Yeah.
And he had a stepfather by the name of Willie Knight, who he praised.
Mhm.
Give highly recommendation about him about his upcoming. And I thought that was a man. When somebody do that for a stepfather, that's impressive to me. I'm serious, it really does. But check this out, Mr. Woodland. Hear me out right here now. He attended North Fort Myers High School and was a letterman and an all-state honoree in football, basketball, and baseball. In 1985, Deion Sanders was named Florida High School Associate All Centuries team, selected the top 33 players in 100-year history of high school football in the state of Florida. Later on, in 1985, the Kansas City Royals selected Sanders out of North Fort Myers High School in the sixth round. However, he didn't sign with the Royals. I'm gonna go on a little bit further. Now, out of high school, he went to Florida State
That's right.
and began his football career at a high level.
Mhm.
1985, he enrolled at Florida State University, played three sports there: football, baseball, and ran track.
Correct.
Beginning is his freshman year, he started in the Seminoles secondary and played outfielder for the baseball team that finished fifth in the nation.
And amazing.
He helped lead the track team to a conference national championship.
Mm.
Now, I got three more lines on read. I'm gonna turn it over to you. All right. At Florida State from 1985 to 1988, check this out. He won the Jim Thorpe Award that people don't even hardly mention now. I know it's been some time back. Check this out now. This dude won the Jim Thorpe Award as a senior, and that award means he was the top defensive back in college football. Now, I watched Prime in college football. That's when he came on the scene. I used to say, Dad, who that dude right there with them Jerry curls and that bandana behind his head and flashing and doing all that stuff on that football field and getting down with it. And getting down with it. What's up, Ron? What's up, Coach Drake? What's up, Plumber Football? What's up, Ken? Yeah, and getting down with it, talking that trash. I ain't never heard nobody. He remind me of Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. Woo! I'm gonna do it to you, and ain't nothing you can do to stop it. But I'm telling you, man, he came on the scene at the right time. But check this out now. Hear me out now. He just didn't do it in football. This dude did it in baseball, Florida State Seminoles. He batted 331, a batting average. Do you know how hard it is to hit a curveball? He was doing this in college at Florida State. And then he went on and stole 27 stolen bases as a football player. So here my last one, and I'm gonna get out of here. Check this out, y'all. If you're listening in right now, he also ran track, y'all. Deion Sanders is an icon. I'm telling you, that he ran track with a 4 by 100 relay. But check this out: versus Southern Mississippi, the same day he went and played baseball in a championship game against Cincinnati. In college, this started way before he began his NFL career and Major League Baseball career. He was doing it in college. I just read it to you. It's on the internet. It's right there in black and white. I'm telling you, Mr. Steve, this dude is an icon.
He not only is he an icon, he's a national treasure. That B Watts. When when you read his accolades, I tell people all the time, it's nice to see those accolades, but what really sets him apart is this: the human being aspect. He is the type of person that when you're around him, he makes you feel like you're the most important person in the room. And you can have all the awards in the world, but if people don't feel comfortable around you, what does those awards really mean? I see people all the time, and I'm like, man, that person there, you can't even touch them, you can't even feel them. But when it comes to Coach Prime, I'll give you an example. You'll have Coach Drake. Coach Drake will be talking, and you can hear his passion and
Yeah.
everything, and it'll get to the point where you're like, man, I I can relate to that person. That's like an uncle or something. And Coach Prime has that. Coach Prime has that where you like, man, it's something different about him. And when you're a national treasure, it's something different about you. You one of one. And people like, oh, you just said no, young man, young lady. Let me tell you this here. You don't have too many people that are one of ones. What you have is people that are individuals. You got people who only care for themselves. But I'm gonna go back to a 7-year old young man that had a dream. Martin Luther King had a dream too.
Oh,
But
right.
but that young person named Dion and his mother's a visionary. When you name your son Win, and that's all he does is win, it's a reason his middle name got WIN in it. You can spell it any way you want to. All he does is win. And people around him, all they do is win. But let's go back to the dream. This young man growing up at 7 years old, told himself he had remember yesterday I said about an affirmation?
Right.
This young man had an affirmation, and his affirmation was, one day, mama, I'm gonna make so much money that you ain't never gonna have to
Mm.
work another day in your life.
My,
And not
my,
only
my.
that, I'm gonna buy you a house, I'm gonna retire you, and you gonna just sit around and you gonna watch your son do what he do. And just think about that. How many people on this planet, we have people all the time. We say it, we grown and we said, man, it sure be nice about mama that house. But it's a difference of saying it and doing it.
And doing it.
This young man went up there, he said it, and this is what I tell people all the time. This is what make Coach Prime different. This is what make Deion Sanders Sr. different.
Okay.
He didn't just talk it, he high stepped it. He walked it. He
Walked it.
strutted it. And
Strutted.
this the beautiful part. He told you he was gonna do it, and he did it. And not only that, this is what I tell people all the time that really sets him out. He had an opportunity to do what everybody else in his high school and his in his neighborhood growing up. The ones who didn't make it, the ones who had all kind of talent. You hear Coach Prime talk about his cousin all the time, how talented his cousin was, and he'd say his cousin was more talented than Bo Jackson. I've heard him on things say. But I
Wow.
don't care how much talent you got, if you're not dedicated, you're not motivated, and you're not disciplined, you're never going to achieve it. And what Coach Prime did was this one here. He started off with a dream. He had that affirmation. He said it every day. Can you imagine this here, B Watts? You're the best player in the state of Florida, the best athlete in the
Well,
state
well,
of Florida.
I love to hear Coach Drake take on that one, boy. Woo-hoo-wee.
You're the best athlete in
DJ.
the state of Florida. And every time you out there showing out basketball, football, track, baseball, you don't have not one parent at that game. Your parent
Wow.
is working. Your parent is breaking her back trying to make sure you got food on the table. You got parents that, she sacrificed so much. That young man, for kids right now, if I don't go to my kids' games, oh boy, they feelings hurt. Dad, I
Right.
can't believe you didn't go. But this
Right.
young man had to deal with that and be mature enough to understand it's a reason why my family is not here. But I'm gonna raise so much, I'm gonna show out so bad that they gonna have to read about it in the paper. And that's what his mother had the opportunity. Can you imagine that guy walking around and all people telling Miss Connie, your boy's a bad man. He's
Wow.
different. He is
Yeah.
different. So let's go with that because when we say that this man is America's national treasure, people gonna look at it, be wise, they gonna say, man, y'all just coming up. Let me explain something to you.
Explain.
When do I'm gonna explain it to you. I'm gonna tell you how TIS, how it is. When do you get to pick who your national treasure is? Are you told who your national treasure is? Do you wait for ESPN to tell you? Do you wait for CNN to tell you? Do you wait for old Fox News to tell you? I don't wait on people. Me and B Watch don't wait on people to determine who's special and who deserves to be honored when we talk about something. We don't wait on that because I said it yesterday. Muhammad Ali, everybody now, oh Muhammad, oh he the greatest of all time. Boy, oh that Ali boy, you can't. They wasn't saying that when Ali was back in the day. He's a draft dodger. He's a loud mouth. He don't do this one here. So all I'm telling you is this here. When it goes to this point, you all those people out there in podcast land, you get to determine who you deem as special, who you deem as someone who we should honor. And I'm gonna tell you something. This one here, I honor a 7-year-old boy who told his mama that she was gonna never have to work another day in her life, and he was going to take care of her the rest of her life. And not only did he achieve it, but he did even more. He uplifted his entire, I ain't gonna say entire, but I'm saying the majority of his family, the ones that wanted it, because it's a difference. I
Right.
can't bring you to places that your mind has never seen before. So
True.
just imagine that young man with that dream and look at all the accomplishments. I don't look at Coach Prime, and I'm gonna give it back to you, B. Wise, on this one here because I got so much on Coach Prime. You do need more than 2 days. You need 2 days for it.
Oh
But with
well,
that
okay. I
being
got you.
said,
I got you. I got you.
but with that being said, for me, it's all about that young boy who had a dream,
Mhm.
who made it a reality. And the third thing he did, I'm gonna bring everybody else with me while I'm accomplishing this dream. So that's the most important part. And the next part I like about it, this the end part that's beautiful. He never made other people feel less than. That is the key. Look how many billionaires and millionaires you got right now that won't give their family members $30, won't give them $50. And it is not about giving them anything, but it's all about opening your door of your house and saying, hey, I will provide you knowledge so that you can fish. And when I teach you how to fish, you need to go out there and fish on your own and get your own accomplishment because it'll mean more to you. Back at you, B. Watts.
Appreciate it, man. We talking about Deion Sanders. I'm telling you, he's the American national treasure, and we gonna celebrate him. I keep trying to tell you, he got a birthday coming up, August the 9th. He was born August the 9th, 1967, a year before I was. And I'm telling you, we gonna give him his flowers right now. Many people want to do it when they in the ground. I'm telling you, Coach Prime deserve to be lifted up, and
Right.
we can do it for the next two Tuesdays, and by giving him and celebrating his birthday in advance. Now check this out. Coach Prime went on after college. He was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. He played there from 1989 to 1993. After that, they didn't want to resign him. They didn't want to pay him his money. After that, 1994, he went to the San Francisco 49ers and they won a Super Bowl. This guy he didn't win that Jim Thorpe award from nothing in college, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, he was the best defensive back in college and ever played in the NFL. Well, the 49ers got what they wanted. They didn't want to pay him the money. You know Coach Prime. Coach Prime got a slogan. When you play good and you look good, man, you got to pay good. They didn't want to pay the dude. But check this out. He left there and went to the Dallas Cowboys. And what did they do? They won the Super Bowl. Coach Prime is a winner, y'all. He's a winner once he got through playing uh, football. He did some more stuff. He did some more stuff. Let me find it. All right, check this out. Oh, I get back to you before I go. I don't mean to do that.
Oh, no,
Talk
no,
about
no.
his talk about his NFL career.
Oh, you want me to talk about greatness? You want me to talk
Yes, sir.
about a man? You want me to talk about a man who changed who changed the way the game is played? You want me
Yes,
to talk
sir.
about the man that they determined that his uniform was so clean after the game that they didn't even know he played because
But
they knew they were not throwing. If he was on the right side, you're not throwing the ball on the right side. The coach told the quarterback before the game even started, "I don't care what you do not throw that ball over there on Deion Sanders' side." It reminds me if you watch Django, and I can just imagine. Check this one out. This is one of those analogies here. If you watch Django and Steven going and the guy coming to Django coming to the house, coming to the big house. So put Django on a football field and put Steven on the football field. And he looking over there and he's the quarterback, Samuel L. Jackson quarterback, old Steven. And he looks over there and he gets ready to call a play. And he calls the play and looks over there and see Deion Sanders. You know what he gonna say? He
what is
gonna
that?
tell the coach. The coach is gonna tell him, "Hey, throw the ball over there on Deion's side." He gonna look over there at the coach and say, "You want me to throw the ball over there on Deion's side? You mean that person sitting over there? Nah, coach. I'll do anything you say, Now, I have no problem. I'm not arguing with you. Now, we can throw the ball on that side, but I'm not throwing the ball on that side because it makes no sense. It's not going to happen. And that's what I tell people when it came to football. That's it. That was his lifestyle. That man was sitting over there. It got boring. It got boring. He's sitting over there. And people are like, well, what you mean? It got boring because a quarterback did not want to be embarrassed because Deion Sanders wasn't just going to catch the ball. This is what separated Deion Sanders. It's called Deion Sanders took the cap off. He took the cap off he took the top off the roof, and he high stepped, and he danced in the end zone. So you were gonna know this man would high step starting at the 30-yard line and go all the way to the end zone high step. That's the first thing. So as a quarterback, you don't want nobody dancing on you. It don't work
Right.
like that. So with that being said, the respect that he had across the league, they weren't going to take the opportunity to go over there. But with that being said, even though he had limited uh, uh, plays on his side, but when they did go to his side, he made those plays. See, that's what separated Coach Prime or Dion at the prime time, Neon Dion. This
Okay.
what separated him was this one here. He knew, Dion knew that he was only going to get 3 or 4 balls in the entire game thrown to his side. But if you look at his record, he got quite a few interceptions that he took to the house. And it
True.
was limited passes that he got those interceptions off. It ain't like other people. Other people would go on there and they would throw the ball to them 30 times. They'd go to somebody 30 times. They wouldn't do that on Coach Prime. But we forgot one thing about that 1994 Super Bowl that he won with San Francisco.
Okay.
He was the Defensive Player of the Year for the NFL. Defensive
Bingo.
Player of the Year. A cornerback, a cornerback win Defensive Player of the Year. And let's
Wow.
go back.
What?
Let's go back. Let's go back to Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta was a blessing. It wasn't the fact that they didn't want to pay him the money. The fact is this one here. That owner had so much respect for Deion Sanders. He pretty much told him, "You wasting your talents here. We're not ready to win." And that's what they told him. He said, "Hey, we could pay you, but you're wasting your talents." And to me, that lets me know how much God is in his life. Because
Right.
anybody else, look at right now, they just pay. The NFL normally just pay people because they say, "Hey, they bring butts to seats and they pay you." But that man has God in his life because anybody else, a defensive player of the year, you don't let that person go. Not only that, that person taking punt returns back to the house and everything else. He's putting people in seats. And I'll go back farther than that with Atlanta. Who do you think was in the stands over there with on the sidelines with MC Hammer? Well, I just gave it to you with Deion Sanders. They had
MC.
man, they had celebrities in Atlanta.
The leverage then. Too
MC
legit to
Hammer,
quit.
too legit to quit. Happened to be on the video. So my point being with Deion is this one here. That man knew his assignments. That man knew his art. He perfected his art. And not only did he perfect it, he was tough as nails. You'll go through his career. He didn't miss too many games. If he
Right.
missed a game, he was hurt. But I will leave it at that, saying for him, when he went to the Dallas Cowboys, it was over. He got to be, that Cowboys team might be one of the greatest teams ever. Along with
Right.
that San Francisco team. That San Francisco team, that was a beast. So
That's
those two
deep.
teams were beasts. So Coach Prime happened to play on two of the greatest teams to
Think ever
ever
play football,
put
man.
a uniform on. Well,
That's
who
right.
can say that? Who can say
Not too
that?
many people. Not too
Not
many
too many
people.
people. Not too many
Not,
people.
hey, not only did he play football while he playing for them, he also played baseball. He played with the Yankees, played with the Braves, played with the Cincinnati Reds at the same year. He
But
was
let me
playing
add.
with
Oh, he played with quite a. Well, let me add this, and I'll let you go back to that. Did you know that in the National League championship game, Deion Sanders was batting 500?
who boy.
500.
I
Look
didn't
it
even
up.
know that.
Atlanta Braves against Minnesota. He was
Oh
batting
yeah.
500. And the only reason They were so mad. See, this is where people mess up. This is why Atlanta didn't get a championship. Being petty, I call them Petty LaBelle. Being petty, they were so, they were petty. They were so upset that this man was playing football and baseball
Baseball.
that they wanted him. We want you to only play baseball. We do not want you to go and play this football game. This man is far above his time. This man told them, you can't tell me to do some nonsense like that. He still did at the same time, went and played in another game for Miami. Went to Miami, played. But me saying this is this. They were so petty. Somebody batting 500. Do you know they sat him on the bench for 2 games and lost those 2 games?
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm like, where did he do that at? And then when he went in the game, he knocking the paint off the ball and everything else. So
Stealing bases and everything.
everything. So what sense did that make? But I'm just going on his talents. His talents can't be denied. His love for the game can't be denied, and his vision. Young man telling people, you're not gonna put me you're not gonna label me, and you're not
Right.
gonna put me in a box. And that's what separates Coach Prime. No one was ever able to put him into a box. And people out there in podcast land, don't let nobody ever put you in a box.
All right. Hey, man. Thank you for that take that, doctor. I'm telling y'all, hey, if you're tuning in right now, if y'all don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. You watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I got my new partner right here, Steve Woodland out of Maryland. I'm telling you, he giving you some good content tonight. Hit that like button for me, and it'll go directly to Mr. Steven Woodland. Hey, check this out. While continuing to work as an NFL analyst after he retired, Sanders became the head coach of Prime Free Academy, which he co-founded. Check this out now. Also, in 2015, he was hired as the head coach for a AAA academy where he was the coach for 2 seasons. In 2017, he became the offensive coordinator for Trinity Christian High School, giving him the opportunity to coach his sons, Shiloh and Shadur, who get a chance to coach their son in high school and college. Wow, I'm telling you, he was the best to ever do it. Who gets to do that?
The
Who gets to do
American, the American national treasure, who gets to do it. And this is something I'm gonna add on that, B Watts. We forgot to add in there the youth and Ed was there when they were 7 years old, 6, 7 years
that?
old.
Okay.
He had those young men. Not only that, guess what the young man did? That young man took money out of his pocket.
His
That
pockets.
young man got buses and took young 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10-year-old kids to Canton, Ohio, to
True.
go to the Hall of
All
Fame.
time.
Now, let me explain this to you. If for people who don't understand that, that's one of the highest honors you can achieve in the National Football League is going to Canton, Ohio, getting in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Can you imagine 6, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds? Not only did you get to go, you went with the greatest cornerback to ever be on a planet. And he
Mm.
happens to mentor you, coach you, speak life into your life. How valuable is that? Do you know that when it comes to people of importance in life, you have to pay them to get time with them? I hope people recognize that. If you're talking about Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and all those billionaires, you can't talk to them. You have to spend money to get 15. And what's so cool about it? They on such another level. You can only get 10 to 15 minutes
Wow.
of their time. $200,000, $250,000, $100,000 for just 10 to 15 minutes. And if you ain't talking about nothing, they ain't gonna say nothing. You got to let them know what you want, and then they can go and talk to you. But when it came to Coach Prime, and this is where I tell people what separates him from. How many people are willing to deal with certain mothers and fathers who think their kids are the greatest of all times and really can come in there and tell you, I want you to do this and I want you to do this, and why aren't you paying for this, and you got the money? See, because they don't count your pockets. Well,
Right.
he a millionaire anyway, why he ain't paying for it? He was. But the point is this here. This man did something that other millionaires, you'll see a lot of millionaires that don't do. And I understand why they don't, because it could cost you. It
Right.
definitely, ask Cam Newton. Incident occurs and it goes from there. So him doing kind things out of his heart can hurt you. But it
Right.
is beautiful when you realize that regardless of that happening, I'm still going to do it. But what Coach Prime did was this one here. He took his time, his money, and time is the greatest thing we got. And he spoke life into those people's life. And doing that, I guarantee you, those kids will never forget that, and until they'll never forget that, because that's
Right.
priceless.
It
So
is. It is. You're right. You're right. Anytime a person can take time, that's why I like about Coach Drake. The stuff he do down there in Florida with them kids down there. That's
mhm.
why he relate so well with Coach Prime, because he see what Coach Prime is doing and he's doing the same thing. And I'd have done it in my lifetime too. It does cost, man. And I'm telling you now, that Hall of Fame speech that Coach Prime gave, he just said, I did it for my mama. I did it for my mama.
That was
I
his
got
why.
tired of seeing my mama on her knees. I did it for my mama. Shout out to Coach Prime. That's what a
Shout
real
out
man
Coach
will
Prime.
do. That's what a real man will do, man. They'll take care of the women in their life. Their mama, their wife, and like my granddaddy said, and I told you this yesterday, my pastor, Dr. BJ Burge, if you ever want to know what a man's heart is, check his checkbook. Check his
He was
checkbook. Because Coach Prime, not only when he went to Colorado, he took his mom, he took his sister. Yeah, yeah. He went down to Mississippi Valley and took that coach out of there and said, "Hey, you ain't gonna win here. Come on, go with me. Come on, go with me." I'm telling you, the dude just got a good heart, man. I'm telling you. Talk about the Hall of Fame speech, Mister Will.
that Hall of Fame speech was special, because what happens, people reflect back on what got them there, what led them to their greatness, the obstacles they had. And the Hall of Fame speech touched people because they saw the pain that he went through as a young man. That 7 year old, you could feel it,
Sure.
man. You could feel it. You can feel when a man is saying, I saw my mama on her knees working these jobs, working these jobs that, nobody else would do, but she. And this is the beautiful thing about Miss Connie. No job was beneath Miss Connie, because it put food on her table, and it showed her sons that her son, hard work pays off.
Pays
She
off.
might have not got paid at them jobs, but them jobs showed her son. See, that's how God worked.
I go out work.
This how God worked. You up there talking about, oh God, if you just get me this here, get. No, God already gave it to you. He gave you that son.
That's
And
right.
that son saw you, and the difference is this one here. You got to put work in.
Right.
That's where people miss out in life. People say, "Boy, I'm waiting on God." If Coach Prime was waiting on God, he'd still be that 7 year old boy with that dream. Coach
Right.
Prime
You put the work in.
put his words into action. You have to put your words into action. You say your affirmation. I'm gonna put one foot in front of the other foot. I'm gonna put my hands to the plow. I'm gonna get my game plan. I'm gonna work on my craft, and I'm gonna do what is right. That's the key, because you could look at all those talented kids that are just so talented that should have made it, that
Right.
did. Look at those kids that made. Coach Dre said a story once that was so tragic. These kids that he talked to them and told them, "Y'all need to go home. Y'all need to take y'all butt home," and that didn't happen. And one guy who did listen is still here with us. So all I'm
Uh,
saying is this. All I'm saying is this here. When it comes to Coach Prime, he made a lot of right decisions,
right.
because in Florida, it's plenty of distractions. It's
Oh
plenty of
yeah.
distractions.
Oh
So
yeah.
me hearing that speech, what I heard was this one here. I heard a man that was disciplined, a man that was on a mission, a man that wanted to show his mother and show God that if God gonna give me this here talent, I'm gonna use it to the best of my ability, and I'm gonna get every drop that he put into me. And Coach Prime did. Coach Prime left, well, Deion Sanders, prime time, left nothing on that NFL field. You cannot say, well, he left it all on the NFL field. He didn't leave it at home, oh man, I'm gonna play now. But no, no. He left it all on that field. So when he left that field, he was gone. So that speech, Coach Prime shut it down, man. If
He
you
shut it
have
down.
any kind of feelings and you have that love for your mother, it's touching. So I just say, hey, good on you, Coach Prime. I love to see a young man succeed and bring people with him. Great job.
Great job. You're right about that. Hey, y'all don't mind. Once again, like I said, you watch the Sports Talk. We'll be Watts Entertainment. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hey, check this out now. 2020. We up on 2020. We fast forward, right? He threw with his NFL TV talk show, and he threw coaching in high school. Now he getting ready to hit the big stage. Jackson State calling, right? 2020. Jackson State is calling. Check this out. On September the 21st, 2020, Deion Sanders became the 21st head coach for Jackson State Tigers of a historic black HBCU college. The Tigers played in the second level of NCAA football. That's Division One football championship, subdivision, FCS. In the first season, in the spring 2021, that was that COVID year, the Tigers went to 4-3 record with one win by fourth. Now, when I was watching when Coach Prime got there, Alabama was my favorite team. Coach say. I went from Steve Spurrier, Florida Gators. When he retired, I went to Alabama. I never did like Georgia because I just didn't think Georgia would play a black quarterback, in which they haven't. Only but one I know. So I had to turn to go out of my state of Georgia to watch Steve Spurrier. I didn't like the way Steve Spurrier was. Uh, then I went to Alabama. Well, when Coach Prime went to Jackson State, I told my brother, I was talking to him, he was down here Sunday morning. I said, man, remember what I told you? I got to look at Coach Prime because they don't hype Shadua. He don't hype Shadua up so bad. He got to come through for us. I don't think he could play. I said I didn't think he could play like that. Coach Prime always go on TV. I'm bringing a quarterback and he can spin it. I remember that key word. He can spin it. So I watched him that year. I said, ooh, okay, Shadua. Okay, that's that Kobe year. Okay, I seen a couple games, but then 2021 hit. Yeah, boy, let me tell you something. Boy, they came out with a banger, boy. That dude had grew. He don't got arm strength, and he don't got better. I told my brother, I said, boy, Prime got something. I said, Prime got something in that quarterback he got. That should do it. Salad is legit. So tell me, Mr. Woodland, when Coach Prime went to Jackson State between 1920 and 1921, I don't want to talk about 2022 because that was a good year for him. But in between those 2 years, what did you think of Coach Prime when he went to Jackson State and Shadua Sanders at that time?
This is what I thought. I saw a man. This is where vision comes in. This man saw an opportunity at Jackson State to go there and to show people that hey, it doesn't make a difference what university you're at, what challenges you have at that university. You still can bring young men in here, discipline and a vision and goals in here and accomplish something. What we didn't add was this here. People don't realize in Jackson, Mississippi, during that time, they had challenges. And one challenge was they didn't have water. They didn't have good drinking water.
True,
That the
true.
water pump, the water plant that they had there was not working. If you looked at it when Coach Prime now was on 60 Minutes, Coach Prime now was using the pool to take baths and stuff like that. The water was contaminated. The federal government wasn't doing. Well, I ain't gonna say the federal government. I'm gonna say the governor of
Government.
Mississippi. And I know who the governor of Mississippi is because I'm from
Okay.
Mississippi. I am from Mississippi, and he utilized that all that federal money that Mississippi get because they're the poorest state in the United States, so they get all that federal money. He took the federal money and he gave it to the suburbs in Mississippi instead of those people in Jackson, Mississippi, who that money was warranted to. And if you don't believe me, just Google it and you can go from that. But going back to Coach Prime, he had that challenge in front of him. Can you imagine that you're in a place where your football team, they sitting, they can't live on the dorm. They couldn't practice well, they couldn't live in the dorms and stuff because the air conditioning wasn't working. It was too hot and everything. So they had to in turn go out and go to a hotel. You had a hotel, and they had to go out 20 miles and stuff because if you don't have water and stuff like that, the food and everything else, it impacts. Now, this is a football team now that needs all this substance and everything else. To go through those challenges and still be able to win, that says something about Coach Prime because
Right.
people look at it, they be like, "Oh man, he had all that." I don't care what kind of talent you have. When you don't have those resources, and those kids are looking at like, can you imagine right now? Take them kids at the University of Alabama and let's get them some dirty water. Let's get them some hot. It's hot on. They ain't got no air conditioning. They're not eating them steak and eggs that they eat right now. They don't get. They not getting that money that they getting in them pockets. I guarantee you they play gonna be affected. I
Right.
guarantee you that. So when you're talking about coaching, motivation, and keeping young men forward thinking, that's Coach Prime. Now that's hard. You can say anything you want to. That lets me know that he was different because everybody else, because I talked to family members and stuff like that, they were complaining about the situation, and they should because that's not acceptable in the United States of America. Not to have clean water. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Coach Prime didn't just, you never heard him complain about it. He went to the right people and said, y'all need to fix this. But he made it happen with, I'm going to take care of my kids and I'm going to make sure they're getting what they need and when they need it. So that was the beautiful thing. That's what I got out of it. All those challenges, he still overcame. And not only did he overcame, they won. And
They
they won
won.
big.
They won big. That's the key thing right there. They overcame those challenges and they won. They still won. And that moved me into 2022. He went to Florida and got the number one, not number two, not number three. He got the number one player in the country, Travis Hunter, to come to Jackson State in Mississippi. He could have went. I think he had Florida State looking at him and
Georgia.
everybody. Yeah, Georgia. This dude chose to go to Florida State to play for Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, the icon. What kind of impact did that make on Coach Prime recruiting and coaching ability when he
Well,
got Travis Hunter?
it was a game changer. It
Oh,
was a
that
game
thing
changer.
all over them. It was all over the TV.
Not only it was a game changer because to get that young man to come to a HBCU when you got an opportunity to go to LSU, Alabama, Georgia,
And
you name it, he could have went in there and not only that, his pockets would have been filled with that
oh
stuff
yeah,
that stuff that's green. They were gonna pay him. They were gonna pay that young man because he's just that talented. But this is what it says about Coach Prime. Coach Prime was able. See, this is where I always you'll hear me say vision. That's why he's a national. He has a vision. He was able to talk to Travis in the most simplistic way and say, Travis, if you believe in me like the way I believe in you, you're going places. And I tell people this one here. That was that was one of the best decisions that Travis Hunter ever made in his life. And I'm gonna give you three reasons why.
I
Number
talked to
one,
him.
number one is this one here. When it comes to all community, Travis Hunter showed us he put us first. And when you
Yeah.
put your people first, your people gonna have your back no matter what. So Travis Hunter, you can say whatever you want to about Travis Hunter. You will get your head knocked off talking about Travis Hunter because he did something that not too that not too many other young men did. He went back and supported his people, and it was supported the HBCU. People are people because it's white people at HBCUs too, so don't get it twisted.
Right.
But he
Right.
supported a HBCU, which in turn brought money into that university, which in turn brought eyes into that university, which brought sponsorships to that university, which in turn brought more recruits to that university. So that's the first thing with Travis Hunter. The second thing is this one here. Travis Hunter brought a talent to Mississippi that we ain't seen before. Travis Hunter
Boy,
different.
you did. Yeah.
Travis is different. And the third thing Travis did with this one here, Travis' character can't be, you can't argue about his character. That
No.
young man has character. That man has integrity. That young man is before his years. And what's going to happen with Travis, because Travis showed love, people gonna continue to show love, but especially the people we know that saying,
Right.
"Hey," and now Travis took that talent to another place we'll get to, and they are going to show love as a whole, and that's what
Right.
makes Coach Prime so special. Coach Prime can go in any neighborhood
Right.
and talk to people, and he don't. Coach Prime don't see colors. That's what I like about it. He don't see
Right.
colors.
You don't see color.
Whenever you talk about it, it ain't nothing about a color. It's about people. And that's the beautiful thing about Coach Prime. And let me put this, and I'm gonna give it right back to you. Too many people are so worried about, but he said this here. He got so much confidence. I can't believe he wearing this here. I can't believe he got this here. Why aren't you worried about his substance? Why aren't you worried about his heart? Why aren't you
Right.
worried about the actions that he's doing? Why aren't you worried about supporting the positive things that he's doing? You worried about little nitpicking things because that's something you ain't used to. That's a you problem and not a Coach Prime problem. And I'll go with this one here. Travis, we salute you, young man, for making that sacrifice, and that sacrifice paid off for it. Because it looks
Yeah.
like you're doing pretty well for yourself.
He doing real well, real well. Check this out. Hunter was the first five-star recruit to sign with a FCS program. Not only did Sanders attract Coach Prime attract the high-level recruits for the HBC, he increased the revenue for those funded teams and put HBCU teams on the map. Now that Coach Prime went into his last year, 2022, he led Jackson State to a 27-6 record during 3 seasons as the head coach.
Mhm.
Now, to me, that's impressive. But a lot of people that you hear on YouTube, on ESPN, they don't want to give Coach Prime the credit at the job that he did as a head coach in that FBC, I mean FCS school that was Jackson State. So why Coach Prime can't get the credit that he deserves for being a head coach at Jackson State University?
Well, first I'll say this here, B Watts. Who cares what they say? Who cares what they do?
He went 27-6, Mr.
Yeah,
Woodland.
I understand he went 27-6, but what should happen is this one here. We should be the ones who champion a champion. Let me put it to you this way. They did they're not gonna champion something they're afraid of. If you give Coach Prime credit for what he did, what you're telling him, what he does works. What you're also
Yeah,
telling him that if you give him the same resources that you have in the big leagues, that he can not only play with you, he's gonna beat you. And it also tells them that, hey, when it comes to recruiting, we don't want him up there with us. because if he's up there and he has everything we have, he knows how to talk to people to let them see that, hey, I can take your son to places that they need to go. But not only that, I can help build him as a man. And that's the key. Because I'll tell you this one here. What's the purpose of getting your son to the NFL and he gets there and he makes all of this here money and then in 3 to 5 years he's broke?
Mm,
I tell
that's
people,
good.
hey, you you styled and profiled for a few years, but let's get back to those people though, those naysayers. You know what happens? You know what happens with naysayers is this here. When they see that the people of Jackson, Mississippi, they see the Coach Prime followers who are up there, who's going to those games, who are supporting him, who are buying that merchandise, are going to support Coach Prime regardless. You know what they're going to do? They're going to turn around and this is what they're going to say, man, we need to get on board because if we don't, we're going to miss this gravy train. Coach Prime is a gravy train. Whether you like it or don't like it, people, when they talk Coach Prime name, the ratings go up. The
True.
dollar just clicks. So when you're doing that, B-Watch, I tell people all the time, I don't worry about it. I don't even think about those people because I will say this one here and I'm going to say it while I got the opportunity. Us, the people of Mississippi, the ones in Jackson State and the people of Mississippi, we owe Coach Prime a deep appreciation and gratitude. When those people got out there because he said he left and they showed out and tried to get a little disrespectful at times, shame on you. And the reason I say shame on you is this one here. Ask yourself, who are the other people who came into your university and who helped build a football field, who got sponsorship for two brand new football fields for you, who got you sponsorships where you get all those uniforms, who straightened up your facility when it comes to your weightlifting facility, who got you national attention, who filled every stadium he went to was packed. Not only did he do that, B Watts, this is what we owe him a deep gratitude for. Coach Prime did it he did it and he showed you what we can do as a group of people on how we could succeed. Now, you're going to get mad at somebody who gave you the navigational system, who gave you the blueprint. You're going to get mad at him for not doing what God said you can do. Because if he did it for him, B Watts, he'll do it for me and you. So,
And you
Coach
talking
Prime,
that.
Coach Prime, I'm gonna say on behalf, I'm gonna speak on behalf of the Mississippians, the people in the SIP. We apologize for those individuals who spoke out of turn and who spoke disrespectfully because they shouldn't have. Because I'll tell them, why weren't you up there supporting Jackson State and supporting them with providing them water, providing them support when it comes to the alumni and things like that. If you're not gonna do it yourself, don't tell somebody else what they should do.
Right.
We don't have time for that. So that's what I got to say, and I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to say that for the people on behalf of the great state of Mississippi.
Okay. All right. Now, when you look at the HBC football program now, since Coach Prime is not there anymore, is the light dimmed on him now since he's gone?
This is what I'll say. Would you please repeat back what you said Coach Prime said when he said his son was coming to Jackson State, what that young man can do?
I forgot what I say was what.
You said that young man can spin that ball.
Oh, he spin. He can spin. That's what he said.
And and let me go back to this one here. Steve McNair could spin that ball. Willie Satellite Todden, who played with Mississippi Valley State, who had Jerry Rice on his team, could spin that ball. Who was these here people who was third and who were Heisman Trophy candidates at HBCUs. Steve McNair at Alcorn State University, Willie Todden at Mississippi Valley State. What I'm telling you is this one here. When
Wow, you
those
just you just well, you just educated me on that one.
Absolutely. What I'm telling you is this one here. When those men played, Not only were the stands filled, you had people on top of things and on the football field. They were standing room only. People come to games when you're a winner and you got somebody who can spin that ball. But if
Yeah.
you're coming up there and you trying to play that old hand the ball off, all of that stuff, it does not work with us. We want to see somebody spin that ball and a dominant defense, and we will support you. Coach Brian told him. He said, I don't care. I'm telling you the blueprint. That's the first thing he said. He was talking to Shannon Sharp. He said, Shannon, I'm telling him, if you're down there and you get somebody that can spin that ball,
He
you're
sure
going to
said
be
it.
successful. And
He
that's
sure
what
said
we
it.
haven't done.
Wow. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Now, if you look back at let's say like I say, I ain't trying to put him on the spot. I want what really happened. I would like to ask Coach Prime what really happened at Jackson State that caused him to leave.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. You have people who at in Mississippi who were seeing money they'd never seen like that before. The program was losing money. Uh, and 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 I'm not going to bash them. When you start seeing money that's flowing into that university that Coach Prime had coming to that university, you got people you're on television now that they weren't
Right.
seeing. You got that stadium full. You got when they traveling that thing full. You got people commentators coming down there. You got Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman coming to Jackson, Mississippi. You got Michael Irvin. You got Snoop Doggy Dogg. You got Bootsy. It was different. And what
Right.
happened? And what happened was this one here. Coach Prime told him, I see that y'all don't have the resources to pay me like I should be paid. But
Right.
what I'm gonna do is this one here. Coach Prime is a businessman. Coach Prime put in his contract that I'm gonna get money off the gate and food and stuff like that. So what happened was in a lot of cases, Coach Prime was like old red on the five heartbeats. He started looking at them receipts. And the guy was like, man, when he came in there to talk to Red, he told him my hours are, and Coach Prime gonna ask you, these receipts ain't looking right.
Right.
I'm hearing that we done sold out, and I got a percentage of this. And if I got a percentage of it, and you're not giving me what I'm supposed to get, it's gonna be a problem. So not
Ooh.
only that, I think the biggest problem with this, and it just wasn't a money thing. The biggest problem is this one here. Down in Mississippi, some people are just set in their ways. They only
Really?
know what they know. Coach Prime is forward thinking. Coach
Right.
Prime is the kind of guy that Coach Prime can see himself on Mars playing football and doing things. But when you're in Mississippi, when you're in Mississippi and all you know is, man, we seeing this money good. We need to fix this and we need to fix this and we're gonna take this money. And Coach Prime is like, no, guys, you're looking at it at a small level. You should be looking at it up here. You're looking at it down here. And that's where the problem lies. You can't tell and then you got to deal with the alumni. They know everything. They gonna tell you this. At at Jackson State, we do it this way, and we got tradition. Tradition don't pay bills.
But
Going to
you but hold on, Miss Woodley. You tell me the alumni couldn't see the impact that he was making on those young guys' lives though.
but you got to realize this one here. Deal. It reminds me of the Temptations. And when you see the Temptations, Otis talking to David Ruffins, and David Ruffin looked at Otis, and David Ruffin looked at him and say, "Ain't nobody came to see you, Otis." That's what they tried to tell. That's what they tried to tell Coach Bryant. Ain't nobody came to see you, Coach. But they didn't realize they came to see the talent that coach was bringing, and
Right.
and something else that they didn't realize. They did come to see Coach Bryant
They
because
did.
Coach
I didn't
Bryant.
say yes, they did too.
When do you get to see a national treasure? Where do you get it?
Boy,
That's on TV. Mississippi had the opportunity and the blessing to see that man for 3 years, and they should be thankful. They should put a trophy. They should put a statue up
that's just
out there for him. And if they don't, and somebody gonna be like, oh, they should. Them 3 years were the greatest 3 years that they've ever gonna see, and not only greatest 3 years, what it also did was this here. Those 3 years guided that university to say, hey, this is the greatness that this university has.
Right.
You have to see it, and they have to see it. But when you're dealing with alumni, man, just like anywhere else, that's why Coach Prime better. Blessing to him. Stay where you're loved and appreciated, and that when you and the key is where you're the boss. Because
Right.
when you go to certain places and they quick to tell you, man, you just another coach. Just like they were trying to tell the one at FAMU, man, you just another coach. We can bluff. No, he ain't just another coach. They special. They
Right.
special
They
for
are
real.
special. They're hard to come by. They see that now, don't they?
They see it, but they can only blame themselves. But with it, I put it to you this way. God had other plans for Coach Prime. He was there for his moment. He showed us how to do it. He gave us the blueprint. Let's quit complaining. Let's quit running our mouths. Let's get the blueprint. Let's get a guy down there that can spin that ball and bring the talent that they have around him with some of them big boys and win some football games. And those stands are going to be filled.
God, man, what a take. Hey, man, y'all watching Sports Talk with B Watts Entertainment with the my co-host, Mr. Steve Woodland. And I'm telling you, y'all got some good gems tonight from Mr. Woodland. And I appreciate him for joining the broadcast. Hey, that's part one, y'all. We'll be back next Tuesday for part two when Coach Prime hit Colorado. And boy, you don't want to miss this show next Tuesday. I'm gonna try my best to bring up Coach Drake next Tuesday.
Yes.
I'm gonna reach out to him and we're gonna see what we can do for next Tuesday by recognizing and celebrating the journey of Deion Sanders and recognizing Coach Prime as the American national treasure. For closing remarks, I turn it over to you.
I will say this. I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep saying it. For the people that out there in podcast land, you are the ones that make the B Watts entertainment show what it is right now. People
Right.
always go out and say, hey man, Stephen A. Smith and all these other people. The only reason people get big is because of people like you. It
True.
always starts with the people. The people make whoever they want to go out and support special. And I thank y'all for taking the time out of your day, out of your night, because you could have been doing anything. You could have been
Yeah.
anywhere. But we always want to say this here. We want to leave you with one nugget every time you listen to us. And we appreciate you and we honor you and we thank you for just taking the time to listen to us. And be watched, boy, when you as clean as you are right now, boy, I'm
Wait.
telling you, clean as the board of health. And we
Yeah, but
appreciate you, be watched, for
but
doing what you do.
yeah, you got me, Doctor. You got me, man. Like I said, man, it was a great show. I appreciate everybody that tuned in and participated in the chat. We didn't overlook you. We just want to continue to go with our show. We want to stay on the airways for an hour so you can watch it. I don't want to stay on no 3 and 4 hours so you
No,
can click off and go on. I just want you to tune in because it's gonna be the best 1 hour show that you ever want to see. All you got to do is keep coming back every Tuesday, and the broadcast gonna grow. We here, we here. We ain't going nowhere. We locked in, and we here to bring you Coach Prime and Colorado Buffalo football. That's what we gonna do. But the next 2 days, on Tuesdays, just on Tuesdays, we're gonna celebrate Coach Prime up to his birthday. If y'all don't mind, join us next Tuesday. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a banger. We're gonna try to add Coach Drake to the panel,
good.
and we're gonna talk about uh, Coach Prime when he went to Colorado up to now. All right. That's the game plan, and that's what we're gonna do. Well, Mr. Woodland, hey man, like I said, it's been a blessing to share this platform with you, man, by the airways of YouTube. Like I say, anything that you need me to know or do, continue to do what you do. Send me a text, and we'll keep communicating that way. I'm telling you, man, it was a hit tonight. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
All right, man. Y'all have a good night. And always remember, if you be good to God, God will be good to you. Until next Tuesday night, y'all be blessed. Thank you, sir. Good show.